Hello learner, welcome to my video lecture on Computer Networks Laboratory. In this video I will be discussing about writing pseudocode for RSA algorithm. Before discussing the pseudocode for implementing RSA algorithm, we discuss the implementation logic or the idea behind implementing this RSA algorithm. The idea is very simple or the logic is very simple. If you take the input string, for example Canara, that means we read a string from the user. We have to convert this string into array of characters using the predefined function. We are converting this into array of characters and we store in the array of character. So string is converted into array of character. Once the array string is converted into array of character, now we can take the ASCII value of each character. By taking the ASCII value of each character, we can convert it into ciphertext. So inside the array called as CT, which is of type integer, we can store the corresponding value after performing the encryption process. So by using the particular formula, we have a message. So in place of message, we take the ASCII value to the power mod n. Mod n. So in place of m, we take the ASCII value of c and we convert it into some integer. So the result of whatever we get this after this process, so we store inside this array. For example, 169. So like that, for all the character, we store the particular array in a value inside this array called as CT. Once we have this ciphertext, now we take the same input, each index value that is content of this array as an input for the next formula. So that is to convert the ciphertext into plain text. That means we take 169 as the ciphertext to the power d mod n. So this is nothing but the formula for decryption process. So in place of 169, normally we take we take the ciphertext. So c to the power d mod n. So like that we convert every content of the array. We take every element of the array and we convert into plain text. So as a result, inside the PT array, we get the ASCII value of particular character, whatever we have taken in the initially. Yeah. So we get the ASCII values like 67 is the ASCII value of C, like that 65 will be getting. So we get ASCII value of particular character in this array. In order to print the character, so normally we write, we convert or we typecast this particular content. So while printing, we can print like character of PT of I, which will print the character whatever we have in this particular element or the array. So this is the simple logic behind RSA implementation. Now we will go through the pseudocode. For writing the pseudocode of RSA algorithm, we take some of the variables The first variable whatever we take is str message, which is string type to store the string given by the user. And the next variable is of type array type, that is to store the uh, plain text, and one more array we take to store the cipher text after calculating the cipher text from the plain text. And the third array whatever we take is message, MSG, to store the converted array of characters from the string. So this will be the input for ciphertext, and we take P and Q to read prime numbers from the user, and we read E value also to simplify the program, and if we find the D values. So these are the two encryption and decryption keys, and N and Z are the intermediate values in order to calculate encryption and decryption key, that is N and phi of N value. These are the important variables normally I use in I have used in the pseudocode of RSA algorithm. The first process in RSA algorithm is key generation. We consider in pseudocode for key generation. As a first step, we have to read two prime numbers. The read prime numbers will be stored in P and Q. The second step, we read encryption key directly from the user, or else we can also calculate or we can find it by using GCD. That means whenever you select E value, it must be co-prime to value of phi of n. That means GCD of phi of n and E must be equal to 1. So this also can be done. To simplify the pseudocode, here we read the value of E from the user. Once we read the value of E value, we can calculate the intermediate values, that is N and Z, by using this statement, that is N is equal to P into Q and Z is equal to P minus 1 into Q minus 1. As a step 4, we find the decryption key, that is D, and we know that D is greater than 1 and it is less than phi of n, that is Z value. In order to find D value, we use the loop which starts from 2 and till Z. Whenever D value satisfies this condition, we break the loop and we keep the value of D. That value will be kept as a decryption key. That is why whenever this condition satisfies, we break the loop. And loop variable is nothing but D value, that is variable D. Once we have D and E value, now we can print public key and private key. Public key is nothing but E comma N and private key is nothing but D comma N. Once we have a public key and private key, we can perform encryption and decryption. Normally encryption happens at the sender side and decryption happens at the receiver side, but we write encryption and decryption pseudocode in the same program in order to demonstrate how exactly encryption happens and decryption happens. The first step in encryption is to read the message, and which will be stored inside str MSG. That means we are reading a string from the user. Once we read the string value, we have to convert into character array by using the function toChar array. We have a built-in function in Java which will be stored inside the character array of MSG. Once we have array of characters, now we can perform encryption. Since we have to encrypt every character by considering the ASCII value, we go for loop or loop, any loop, starting from the 0th index value till length of the message. And we call the mult function to perform this operation, that is message to the power E mod n. We will discuss the definition of this multifunction soon. The result of each operation, the value which is returned by mult function will be stored inside this particular array. That is nothing but array to store ciphertext of all the characters. And we can print the same ciphertext by using the loop and print content of CT, that is ciphertext array. The next is decryption process. Again, decryption process is straightforward. Whatever we have in CTF5, we have to convert it into plain text and we have storing in an array. Again, we are using a loop for traversing through the CTF5. Since we have same number of element, whatever we have inside the message, that is why the loop will go from 0 to length of the message. Otherwise, it will go till the size whatever we have given for CT. Again, we call mult function. Here the mult function will be called in order to convert the ciphertext whatever we have stored inside CT. So CT of I to the power D mod n. Mod n. And that will be stored inside PT of I. Once we end up with the loop, we will have the plain ASCII value of all the characters whatever we have given in the message will be stored inside PT of I. While printing the plain text, we have to provide the typecasting in order to print the character. Since integer value will be stored inside PT of I, that is ASCII value of a particular character, in order to print the character itself, the particular character, we are making use of typecasting. At last, we have mult function, definition of mult function. Since it takes 3 arguments, we are considering it as integer, int x, int y and int n, where the first option is parameter we are taking for getting the values of either plain text, that is content of message or content of CT array, and the second parameter we are taking to store either E value or D value, and the last one is for n value. And here we just use the logic of whatever we are using for power, calculating the power of any number. That is why we take a variable which is initialized to 1. Since we perform multiplication operation, we initialize to 1, and we go for loop from 1 to y. That is, we are multiplying x y times. We are multiplying x y times. So that's what we have given here. The statement k is equal to k into x. We are multiplying k y times. Sorry, we multiply x y times, and we perform the mod operation with n. At last, we will be returning the k value. So that's it. It's the end of pseudocode. A simple pseudocode to implement RSA algorithm. Thank you for watching this video. We'll meet in the next video. Until then, have a nice day.